No Chill Sports is an unapologetic, high-energy sports show where opinions fly fast and facts hit hard. The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the hosts and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated networks, sponsors, or partners. Content may include passionate debates, bold predictions, and unfiltered takes that some viewers may find intense or controversial. Listener discretion is advised. If you're looking for chill, this ain't the place.
Hey, welcome back to the Rant with Pough Ant, where the mics stay hot, the takes are bold, and the truth is unfiltered. No scripts, just two voices bringing the heat. Real, raw, and unapologetically honest. What's good with you, my boy?
Man, what's up with it, dog?
Hey, nothing much, man. So, it's a good one, man. We got some good topics, man. We getting close to football season. We got some stuff to talk about, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, everybody finally want to, come up with rules for stuff real, late. I mean, only got like
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the timing of it. I think it's more so the effectiveness of it.
I think Ed O'Bannon would disagree.
Well, I mean, yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying a lot of this stuff, it may not necessarily have been. I don't think everything would have been done, said and done, settled law by now. But a lot of stuff would have been in place by now. But
Now
we'll
it would
get
have been
to it,
settled
man.
by law by now. That was 30 years ago. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Is it 30? Has it been that long?
damn near, bro.
Jeez. All right, man. Well, let's get into it, man. But first, y'all know what we gotta do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at Dubby. Dubby is a powdered energy drink aimed at gamers and individuals seeking focus and energy. It's known for its clean ingredients, no jitters, no various flavors. I'm sorry, no jitters and various flavors. Dubby is also available in a hydration formula for those needing electrolytes. W achieves a smooth, effective focus with a high-end tasting experience while using no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Try W today by scanning the QR code on the screen, or you can visit them at the website, bit.ly/no-chill-W. W, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. I also want to give a big shout out to Kelly Creations. If you're looking to bring your vision to life, whether it's screen printed, embroidery, or custom picture tees, Kelly Creations has you covered. From bold logos to picture perfect prints, nobody does it better than Donald D.K. Kelly, the mastermind behind the magic. You can give him a call today at 225-202-2625 or shoot him an email at kellycreations225@gmail.com. While you're there, do us a favor. Let them know that No Chill Sports sent you, and he might just drop a little bit of that extra touch of heat on your product for you. Kelly Creations, nobody does it better. All right, man, let's get into it. I gotta stop drinking so much caffeine before we do the show because obviously That does have jitters all over the place. But man, let's go ahead and get into it, man. House settlement, since we kind of previewed this, house settlement is already facing some issues, man.
Yep.
Just want to bring this up. House attorney, according to Yahoo Sports, house attorneys are slamming the NCAA and power conferences over denied NIL deal and issue a legal warning about settlement.
Yeah, basically the attorneys for the house in the house settlement, they sent a letter to the NCAA and the power conferences earlier this week demanding that they retract the new guideline that the College Sports Commission, the CSC, that some of the new guidelines and guidances that they put out, and they basically told them that they need to reinstate some of the NIL deals that have been denied since we not even 2 weeks into this house settlement being official, and there's been over 1,200 NIL deals submitted, I believe, and 80 of them already have been denied, and others are pending. So the what the lawyers are saying is pretty much that the college sports commission is not acting in the spirit of the settlement. And they basically are saying that the settlement wasn't intended for them to basically have the power to be like the
judge, jury, execution.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of these deals, even though that they have valid business purposes, for example, like the player attending X number of appearances at this business or whatever the case may be, some of them they meet the criteria based off what the CSC initially put out, but they're still being denied. So that they're saying that the attorneys are saying that the CSC isn't acting in the spirit of the ruling, because if it meets the criteria, why is it being denied? And so they basically have said if they don't retract their guidance and reinstate the denied NIL deals, that they're going to file something in court with the Judge Cousins, who is supposed to be like the judge overseeing the settlement. So we're probably going to be back in court soon, because I don't see the CSC changing anything. They finally got a little bit of power and control to kind of nick some of these NIL deals, so I don't see them relinquishing that. But like the attorneys say, if they don't, then they're going to, go take it back to the court. So just when we thought the house settlement was finalized, finished, and set in stone, nah, doesn't look like it. So
yeah. What's good, Adrian? Like Chuck saying, not surprised the house settlement is causing problems. We knew these things were coming. Legal actions were going to take place because of this situation. I think that a lot of some of the smaller schools, or some of the schools who may not have the same competitive advantage, even the Power 4 schools that may not have the same competitive advantage of some of the other more blue blood schools, are going to cry foul, because they're going to say, hey, we're doing what we can to try to attract talent and to get our players, compensation, and you're denying them, when we may not necessarily have those same partnership with such and such with business X, but we are able to partner with Billy Joe, Burger Shack, and you denying it because maybe some kind of language or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying. It's going to be very interesting, because with is it Judge Cousins? Is that the name? Whoever the judge. Once she does.
Well, no, this is a new judge.
Oh, it's a different judge.
Okay. So Judge Wilkins was the one who actually approved the settlement, but this a new judge who's going to be overseeing it.
Yeah. So once this judge makes a ruling, it's going to set precedent. So she's going to have to tread real, or he or she is going to have to tread real lightly on how they do this, because this is Pandora's box, bro.
Yeah.
Pandora's box. So,
Well, I think in theory the house settlement was, in theory, it was better than what we really had. You know what I mean? Like there was going to be some type of enforcement. There was going to be, a salary cap, so to speak, on what schools can pay players. It was going to kind of make the Wild Wild West have a little bit of civilization to it, right? But whenever the governing body over the NIL deals is not acting in the spirit of the law that that created them, pretty much. I mean, they didn't exist before the house settlement. So the law that created them, they're not acting in the same spirit of that law. Well, all you gotta do is go back to the drawing board and recreate what the system that you put in place.
when hold on, when Texas A&M came out and offered all that, those NIL deals, we said then they're not using NIL in the spirit of what NIL was used for, because we all agreed that players should be paid and compensated for their, using their name, image, and likeness. But when those loopholes were being found, we said that, hey, this is going to be problems. I know people have been saying it long before. That's what I'm it's going to be different. I think we all are trying to navigate the whole, what is the world of college sports going to look like from here on out, because there's always things that happen and your world has changed, and it's never the same. It's funny. I remember the first time I flew on a plane, what it was like. It's completely different now. It's going to be funny trying to explain to kids what football and what college sports were like before NIL.
It's a different sport.
Yeah, it's completely different. Nope, there is no, and I think it's, especially people are trying to wrap their heads around recruiting, and the first thing people say is these kids just chasing money, and some are, but it's no longer about what school can set you up to get to the next level. It's what school can set me up now in case I don't make it to the next level.
Yep, facts.
So, but yeah, it's and Paul Sub says it here. The direction of college sports post-COVID has been nothing but a chicken running around with his head cut off. And Renard, who we had on when the house settlement first had, he said 1,000% it was always going to be lawsuits and more lawsuits. We said that before it was ratified. It's giving a base, not a solution fully. So yeah, I completely agree.
Well, and even in that, he's not wrong, but even in that, it's supposed to be a base, but the base is faulty because it's not being utilized the way it was supposed to be utilized. So even though it wasn't a solution to our problem, it's not even being used the way it was intended to be used as the base, because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it could have got us closer to a solution, but I think we took another step back with all the denied NIL deals and everything from where the house settlement was.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Well, that's not the only kind of, I guess you could say, legal hit or a legal mention this week. This one actually is I think this actually is probably going to be a bigger impact, especially on those smaller schools that we mentioned. This week, a bill was put in for the Congress to stop student fees from being used to cover athletics. So Right now, a bill is to regulate college sports introduced into the House on Thursday would offer limited antitrust and protection for the NCAA while barring schools from using student fees to pay for college athletic programs. It's a co-sponsored bill called the SCORE Act, and it is a bipartisan bill, uh, meaning there are Republicans and Democrats on both sides. So this has a strong chance of being passed.
Well, it's deeper than just that. Like that's part of it, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
major part of it for the especially the smaller schools, the G5 schools who rely on a lot of these student fees to just remain at a level where they can play at the FBS level. But I mean, schools like I think Clemson has a like a $300 a year, $150 semester, something like that. $150 a semester student fee. I know Fresno State has athletic fees. James Madison, ULM, more local, got just recently got some. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like it's a lot of schools in the country raise money for the athletic departments using these student fees.
Right.
But to me, there's two bigger issues that this bill does. One I think is good, and one I think could be problematic. I'll start with the problematic one first. So this bill tries to create national rules for NIL
Mm-hmm.
and basically override the state NIL laws to put everybody back on an even playing field. Um anytime anytime the federal government getting involved in college athletics, I don't really care for it. Because how many of these people in Washington really know about college athletics and really have college athletics interest at heart? Um, I
Just
think,
athletics in general.
yeah, but I think this could this could do damage to the House settlement, in my opinion. But I ain't gonna get into too much depth in that. But I think the thing that it does do that's good, especially for a lot of smaller schools, is it tries to save Olympic sports. So the non-revenue sports, um, that are the ones that are being cut by universities, volleyball and tennis and golf and those types of sports. Um, if you have a coach on your campus making at least $250,000, which is pretty much every FBS school in the country,
Mm-hmm.
you have to fund at least 16 Olympic sports.
Mm. I like it.
Well, I ain't gonna take that back. Not 16 Olympic sports. You have to fund at least 16 varsity sports, which means majority of those will have to be Olympic sports. So it kind of prevents universities from getting rid of everything but football, baseball, basketball, softball. You know what I mean? Like you got to keep some of them other sports around. So I do think that's good in a sense for the sports that don't really get the publicity, the revenue, the airtime and all that to keep those sports around and keep giving those athletes a chance to get college education and better themselves, their lives and everything. But I think the NIL. I know a lot of people been calling for national NIL, but I just don't know if Congress is the ones. Like, I don't see them making good NIL laws, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah. I was listening to when y'all were talking about this on Friday on the radio. Uh, Schools like ULM, who was use this to try to get back into or help with the settlement and stuff with
Hmm.
the 20.5 million or whatever.
Exactly.
I would hate to see a school lose access to or competitive advantage because um because they couldn't, be able to generate a little bit more money through these fees. I, I honestly don't see the issue with, like I'm looking here, Clemson earlier this year will implement $150. Fresno State additional $495. And I get it. They say college is expensive and stuff already, but no, nobody's Congress isn't doing it. And I don't want to get too far in that, but they're not doing anything on the other end of the spectrum. But so why is it? I don't get it. Like you said, when you get Congress or federal government involved in sports, it becomes a bigger hassle.
So the ULM student fee that just passed, for example, it was going to generate around $600,000 a year. While that's not a lot of money, so to speak, by any means,
Right.
in terms of college athletics, but that's $600,000 that you got toward revenue sharing. I mean, that's at the end of the day, like that's money that you could use to reallocate other funds other places. You know what I mean? So I don't see the benefit of, and I think part of the problem was as soon as the house settlement was finalized, schools started implementing this. And so I think the optics of it and the timing of it made it seem like, oh, we're only implementing these student fees because now we got to pay athletes $20 million or up to $20 million. So I think the timing of it is one of the reasons what kind of pushed for this bill to include student fees. But at the end of the day, like, as expensive as college is, now you pay so many fees that you don't have to pay. Printing fees and technology fees and all this kind of stuff. Like at the end of the day, what's the extra $75 a semester or extra $150 a semester? At the end of the day, it's really not much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me get to this comment real quick though.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
Spence said, "Come on, it really has just started. Let's wait on the complaints. Give it 10 years, then let's see where all this is at. Relax, give it time to fix itself." And I agree. I do agree to that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like this prime example, right? When we went to the BCS, people had complaints about it. But 10 years later, people was complaining that we was getting rid of the BCS for the playoff. You know what I mean? So I feel like we got to give things time to kind of play out and see where it goes. But I think it's a little different in this situation because we can see how problematic it is from the beginning. So you can foresee the problems that are going to be there 10 years down the line, or even a month down the line, or 2 weeks down the line, like we are right now. So I think he's right that we do need to give it time, but I also think that it's okay to have complaints whenever we realize that all this was going to be coming whenever it got finalized a month ago.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, Spence, thank you for tuning in too, because I know he came in from HBCU, so appreciate you tuning in. And like you said, I couldn't agree more. It is early in the process, but this is also stuff that's been looming, and we also see, and I keep reiterating the same thing because I think that's a very important point. When federal government gets involved in college athletics, it is not good.
Right.
This is federal government is part of the reason why all this is going on as well. So because they statewide, government jumped in and did their part, and then federal government said, you know what, free fall pretty much. So there you go. But man, let's move on. I do want to talk about this because this was something that came up from the Big 12 media days. The Big 12, gets rid of his preseason polls to help shape the narrative should national college football rankings follow suit. Uh, Before you go in, I just want to say this. I'm tired, and I told somebody the other day, one of the guys that worked with me, he's a little bit younger. I said, I'm so sick of y'all and y'all participation trophy. Uh, y'all hurt feelings. Y'all, hey, I want to compete, but I want to compete where everybody gets a chance. No, everybody don't deserve a chance. I don't care if you know what I'm saying, hurt your feelings that you was picked last. Do better. Fight. Work hard.
So when I originally heard about this, so the Big 12 is saying they don't want media polls, partially because everybody who finished in the top 5 last year in the preseason media poll did not finish inside the top 5 in the regular season. And Arizona State, who was picked last in the preseason poll, ended up winning the conference. But I think nobody is talking about their reasoning for it in terms of the optics of their league. So, prime example, if let's take last year, right? Let's take last year. Arizona State finished last in the preseason. Okay. They played the conference championship game, and let's say they lose to was it Iowa State? They lose to Iowa State. Okay. Arizona State could have been, in theory, in contention for an at-large bid. But when you're looking at their resume and you're like, oh, they was picked to finish last in their preseason poll, like it kind of takes away how good you may look in some people's eyes. It could be seen as, oh, their season was more of a fluke versus them being a really good team because the media didn't even think they was a good team going into the season. So optically, I can see how that could play a factor, but at the end of the day, I don't really think that they should be doing all this just to keep people's feelings from getting hurt, because that's basically what it is.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember why the Big 12 didn't get a team into the first college football playoff?
You talking about the year? Who was it? That was
In
Florida State.
2014.
Yeah, Florida
Yeah,
State.
Florida State, Bama,
Oregon, Bama, and
Oregon,
Ohio State.
Because they had a chance. They literally
didn't have a conference championship game.
Not just they didn't have a conference championship game, but you know what they tried to do to try to sneak 2 teams in. Although in a head-to-head, it was like Baylor and TCU or something like that. And I think Baylor beat TCU in the head-to-head, but TCU was a little bit better team. Both of them had similar records or whatever.
They did.
So instead, they did co-champions. They got greedy. The Big 12 is going to screw themselves again, doing the same mess and trying to talk about, oh, we don't need to, let's not do preseason polls. You're going to mess around and screw yourself again because people are going to look at your league and say, the Big 12 is going to start being treated like the Pac-12 used to be treated.
I can see that. I think what's going to hurt the Big 12 more is what we finna talk about next.
Yeah, so that great segue. Let's go ahead and get to it. The Big 12 commissioner, Brett Yormark, is doubling down on the 5+11 college football playoff model. Go ahead, Ant. I'll let you take that one.
All right, so for those who have been under a rock all summer, there's been debate on the model that should be used for the 16-team playoff model whenever it expands. The SEC originally came out and said they want a 5+11, I believe, but then their main thing was we want a 4+4 where we get 4 teams automatically guaranteed and the Big Ten gets 4 teams guaranteed automatically. But when the 4+4 came out, everybody had a problem with that. No other conference, understandably. The Big 12 mainly came out and said, "No, I'm not really cool with that." So everybody's been trying to push this 5+11 format, which would be, 5 automatic qualifiers from the top 5 conference champions, like there are now, and then 11 at-large bids. That's what the Big 12 is pushing for, and their reasoning is kind of because they only got one team in last year, and they think that the more automatic bids only favor the Big Ten and the SEC, and they think that this is more of a professional model, so to speak. All right, I think the 5+11 model, you will get 9 teams from the Big Ten and the SEC combined. So you'll end up getting more teams in that format than you would the 4+4, in my opinion.
I can see it.
So I really think the other conferences trying to say, no, we don't want guaranteed 4 teams from the SEC and 4 teams from the Big Ten, guaranteed spots in there. We don't want them getting half the teams. Like, you're more than likely gonna have that many anyway. Like, look at last year, right? Last year you had 7 in a 12-team format. You had Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana from the Big Ten, and then you had Texas, Georgia, and
Texas, Georgia,
from the SEC.
Texas, Georgia,
Tennessee. So you had 7 in a 12-team format. Okay, if it was 16 last year, you know who else would have been in? Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have had 10 teams out of 16 from the SEC and the Big Ten. I just don't see how going to a 5+11, even though like they're not the only conference that wants it. The ACC wants it also. You know what I mean? And the SEC claims to want that, but they're just doing that because they know that that's a better way for them to get more teams in. Like, you're gonna have at least 9, maybe 10 SEC and Big Ten schools in a 5+11. Like, I don't see that being a way to get 2 or 3 Big 12 teams in.
Yeah, the only way this is going to change, where we have more teams from the Big 12, it's not going to be a 5+11. They're going to have to perform better in out of conference, and they're going to have to perform. They're going to have they're going to have like 2-3 dominant teams in the league instead of everybody being on par and having that parity. That's why the SEC has gotten so many teams, because they've had 2 or 3 dominant teams, whether it be Alabama, Georgia, rotate the other 2. Yeah.
I mean,
you've got to be top.
The Big Ten is very similar, though. If you look at the Big Ten, is very similar. I mean, they only had 3 or 4 teams at the top last year,
and Michigan wasn't even that good last year. Think about it.
Exactly.
Michigan wasn't even that good. Imagine when Michigan, USC get rolling again.
Nebraska.
What you also got, what you also got to hope for, if you are the Big 12 or a Group of 5, what you also got to hope for is Notre Dame don't have a really good season, because that's
Notre Dame automatically in. They automatically in no matter pretty much no matter what. In a 16-team playoff, Notre Dame probably in no matter what, bro. If we being honest. So then you got 5+10.
So
you see what I'm saying?
And I do want to say this.
In a 5+10, so you're gonna have 2 SEC teams already in. Out of them other 10 or 2 SEC and Big Ten schools already in, the automatic qualifiers. So you can guarantee out of them other 10, it's gonna be about 7 Big Ten and SEC schools.
Yeah, you have to. I do want to say this in defense of Notre Dame, because people will say all the time Notre Dame ain't in the conference and they don't. If you look at Notre Dame's schedule, they play a very competitive schedule.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify leaving them out when they're playing teams from several different conferences, and they're not just playing the weaker teams. They might not necessarily play the top 2 or 3 every time, but they're playing these kind of, tier 2, tier 1, tier 2 teams every time in your conference. So them getting in automatically, I see that almost every time.
Pretty much. Unless they lose, 3-4 games a year, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
the way they've been playing lately, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, then the group of 5, and let's be honest, I can make an argument where 2 group of 5 teams could have possibly got in last year, being that because we talked about them being Boise State and UNLV. If they were in different conferences, I could possibly have seen UNLV, because I'm gonna tell you why. Look at UNLV's non-conference schedule, who they were playing, because it wasn't like they non-conference. They weren't playing like,
Well, the only way I think you get 2 of them in is if UNLV would have beat Boise State and UNLV gets the automatic bid, and then Boise only having a loss to Oregon and a close loss to Oregon, and then a loss in the conference championship game. I think you could get.
What I was saying was if UNLV was in a different conference, they would have got in. I think they would have got in.
No,
if you don't think so with the non-conference they had.
No, I don't think because I'm gonna tell you why. You only guarantee one G5 conference winner in.
I get that. The only reason why I'm saying that, I think UNLV probably was a little bit more competitive than a lot of teams in the Big 12.
I don't know. Like, I think with you would have had a better chance of UNLV being the automatic qualifier and Boise being the at-large bid, because Boise played that close game with Oregon and they didn't have another loss. But like, I don't know if UNLV's schedule last year was good enough, quote unquote, to get them in as a non-conference. I mean, as a at-large bid.
I'm pulling up their schedule.
They beat Syracuse, they beat Utah State, they beat Oregon State, they lost to Boise State, they beat Hawaii, they beat San Diego State, San Jose State, Nevada, and then they lost to Boise again.
They beat Houston. I thought they played like Kansas or somebody else too.
They didn't play Houston last year.
Yes, they did. That was the first game in the season they played.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes, it was. I didn't scroll up high enough.
Hey, I was like,
they beat Houston and Kansas State, Houston and Kansas last year. But I don't think Houston and Kansas not getting you in the playoff, bro.
I get it, but I'm just saying it's for a non-conference. It's a little bit more competitive than what you would expect. So you've got 2 P4. I mean, granted, they're not necessarily the stronger P4s, but I'm just saying it's just.
I mean, having 2 P4 wins is nice, but if one of them was a ranked team, it would have been better. Yeah. And then if they would have beat Syracuse when they was ranked, I might would have felt where you was coming from a little bit more. But losing that was your only ranked matchup, and you lost.
Yeah. So anyway, man,
the Big 12 got other issues to worry about other than how many teams the SEC and the Big 10 getting in. Y'all need to be worried about getting more in yourself, because like with I know people laugh at the new Pac-12 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But with Boise, Oregon State, and they ain't far off from where y'all are.
Yeah. Speaking of other issues to worry about, apparently
This
Salary
guy.
cap is another thing. Deion Sanders says college football needs a salary cap.
So
he must
this
ain't got
is,
no more. He must ain't got no more sons playing college football. But anyway, go ahead.
was so to your point. All right, we technically have a salary cap now with the revenue sharing. It's just the NIL that doesn't have a salary cap on it. And to your point, if his sons were still in college, would he want us cap on NIL?
He was out
Would
there
he
doing
want
everything.
Shador and Travis not being able to make as much money as they can off the field?
He was doing everything he can to get them promoted.
Yeah,
But
so
go
that's
ahead.
what I'm saying. So like technically you have a salary cap except for the NIL, which you were a proponent for when it benefited you. Now that it's not benefiting you in the same way, you want to get rid of it. And then he talks about like players programs spending 25, 30 million on incoming freshmen. I don't think nobody's spending that much on an incoming freshman class. Like they might be spending that on a roster total or a transfer portal class, you know what I mean? But like
even
a
with
transfer
the
portal
12
plus high
mil,
school, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Even with the Michigan 12 mil, they're not spending
no,
20
I don't think
plus
they're spending
on a
30
freshman.
million on that class, bro.
Yeah.
No. So I mean, like, I think sometimes it's easy to just throw out insane. Like the rumor was Ohio State spent 20 million last year on their roster, not on their not on their recruiting class. You see what I'm saying? Like that's so now we went from Ohio State spent 20 to 30 mil on a roster to Deion saying teams are spending 25 to 30 mil on incoming freshmen. Like that's not true. And so I think he kind of knows that he's at a disadvantage because he doesn't have Travis and Shador and those guys anymore. And I'm just being honest, like they haven't recruited to the level that people thought they would in turn. Like they still getting talent, don't get me wrong, but they're not competing with the Ohio State, Texas, Georgias, and like people thought they would because they have Deion. So I think he kind of trying to level the playing field in a certain extent because he ain't getting the amount of talent that he probably thought he was going to be able to pull whenever he got a P4 job. Like you can't compete with Ohio State NIL or Texas NIL when you're Colorado. So I think that he kind of sees that, and that's kind of why he's doing it. He like everybody always talking about how it's the wild wild west with the under the table NIL deals and stuff. Like that's been the case. Like
Yeah.
there's people been doing under the table deals forever. So like I don't understand why we just now having a problem with under the table deals whenever it's not benefiting us anymore.
Yeah. Man, let's talk a little basketball real quick. Summer League is going on, and one of the hottest tickets, literally, Cooper Flagg debut. And was the debut the game against Bronny?
Yes, it
Or was
was.
it?
Yes, it was when he had 10 points.
I just want to ask this. What was your thoughts on that? Because they say iron sharpens iron. I don't know if that was iron sharpening iron or if that was like,
That was two
hey,
rocks. Like when you're trying to start a fire with two rocks. Like that's what that was. Two sticks. Like that's what that was.
I'm be
Like
honest with you. I guess the 1 year vet, you know what I'm saying, he got a year up advantage, and it's summer league, it's the worst. I, Bronny was like he was like he was in the NBA finals. I guess he thought SGA was out there. So I don't know. He woke up and
well, that's probably what it was. You have a second round pick versus the number 1 overall pick. Like he probably was trying to show that he could play with him. You know what I'm saying? But the debut of Cooper Flagg, all right, was it great? No. He didn't shoot very well. He shot a lot of attempts, but he didn't shoot very well. but he showed what makes him special, and that's how he impacts the game in multiple areas: defense, rebounding, passing, etc. So I think there was a lot of overreaction to the 10 points,
Mhm.
and he came out in his second game and dropped 31 points, and everybody's acting like, you know, he's the greatest thing walking. Like I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit on both sides of the fence and just kind of let this kid
Mhm.
find his legs in the league and find his role on a team that has a lot of aspirations. You got AD, you got Kyrie hopefully coming back around the All-Star break. You still got Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? You got some good pieces over there. So like he got to try to find his role on a team that expects to win. So like, let's not put a whole bunch of expectations on the kid too soon and call him a bust if it takes him a while to figure out his role.
Yeah. Um, I'm from a blast from the past. Summer league debut. In his first game uh of this player's summer league debut, they started the game 0 for 9 from the field. They eventually finished with 16 points, for 4 for 20 shooting, 1 from 11 from downtown, and 7 to 10 from the free throw line. You know who that player was?
Jason
Trey Young.
Tatum? Oh,
Trey Young had a terrible
yeah, he
summer
did.
league
He
debut.
did. He did. But that's
I
another
don't think
thing. Like these kids ain't played ball since March, April. You know what I mean? Like they not really in shape like that.
so. Yeah, so I think, like you said, I'm with you. A lot of people got to pump the brakes on these overreactions to the summer league. I thought it was funny the whole because people got really hyped about it. I told y'all Bronny could play and stuff. I thought it was funny. It was nice to see him have, have a good game like that or whatever. It's a nice little confidence booster. He's done well in the summer league. Does it translate? We shall see. But
But I
like you
will
said,
say, since we're talking about the Mavericks, I gotta shout out my twin.
oh yeah, man.
Man. Shoot,
Hey, hey,
man.
hey. Yada 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 yada. I'm
Shoot,
just
shoot,
saying.
man.
That man,
Shoot,
I was
shoot.
proud of him. Proud of him, man. Good job. Way to go. Um, they say everything bigger in Texas. Um,
That's what they say.
MLB All Star Game. MLB draft is going on too, man. Shout out to Cade Anderson, number 3 overall pick to the Mariners, man. Big pickup for them.
Over there with the big dumper.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but yeah,
That's a
man.
great,
MLB
great
All
name.
Star Game.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, but I'm not really into the All-Star game as much anymore. Since they kind of took away the home field advantage and all that or whatever. But I will say it's the best All-Star game of sports still. But you see the dude who getting the All-Star appearance and only got 5 starts.
I didn't.
Kid got 5 starts, 25 innings pitched in his career, and he's an All-Star.
How?
Oh, over guys who, pitched 11, 12 games and, you know what I'm saying, got 7 wins or whatever. Like, he's been good in his appearances, but I just don't think he's deserving of an All-Star with 5 games. I think I forgot his name. Dang, what's that dude's name? He got a weird name, but it's it's just weird to me how you can Jacob Mizorowski, that's his name. 5
Mm.
games in the All-Star game. But it's just weird to me how, like, in the MLB, you see guys opting out of the All-Star game for rest, and you really don't see that in any other sport.
No. Mm-mm.
But I do think the home run derby gonna be more exciting and more viewers than probably the All-Star game.
I think the home run derby is the one thing, one event in all of All Star Game lore from all sports that still It still is exciting. The dunk contest has lost
I
its
say the 3-point. I say the 3-point contest
well.
and the home run derby.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3-point contest.
Well, only
Yes,
reason I put it up there is because the best shooters participate. You don't got
that's
the
true.
best dudes in the home run derby. You know what I mean? Like
That's fair.
it's just like Aaron Judge ain't in it, Shohei ain't in it. You know what I mean? So it's like you got even Pete Alonso, who's like a beast in the home run derby. He not in it this year. So
That's
you
fair.
got dudes in it. It's gonna be exciting just because of the nature of the event. But I think the 3-point contest having Steph and Clay and Dame Lillard and guys like that, Trey Young and guys like that constantly participating in it makes it a little more relevant because you got literally the best shooters in the world doing it.
You know, I was thinking about the other day, and I said I would love to see, because you know they had the Swingman,
Mm-hmm.
HBCU Swingman Classic, which were HBCU All Stars and stuff. I would love to see a college home run derby, and the winner gets to participate in the MLB home run derby.
I thought they did a college home run derby.
I'm not. I think they did, but I hadn't seen it. But I would love to see like the college guy participate in it.
Well, you know who I wanted to be in it this year was Jack Caglione.
Mm,
Man, that dude can hit a baseball, bro.
yeah.
I'm finna look that up. College home run derby 2025.
Yeah. But man, that's all I got, man. As we wrap up, I do got some other stuff, not big topics. Shout out to Derek Lewis, man. He extends his knockouts, most knockouts. He's got 16 now. I think the next closest person has 13, but I think that person has retired, and the next active person has 11 knockouts. Shout out to him. And then something else that popped up today. Do you consider like poker and card games? You consider that
Yeah, I
kind of
saw that.
sport?
Yeah, I saw that.
Vegas is talking about bringing Uno.
Well, so I got the scoop from my guy who live in Vegas. It's coming to one casino and like
Oh,
one floor level, and it's only like 2 tables or something like that. But before everybody get excited and run to Vegas, y'all do
you already
realize
know.
they're not playing black people rules, bro.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Motherfuckers
My
gonna
rule,
go to Vegas and
who
get
rule?
embarrassed because they don't know the rules.
Yeah. So somebody posted on TikTok. I know you don't do TikTok. If somebody throws down a draw four, do you know you can challenge a draw four? Yes.
Yes.
So the only way you're supposed to be able to throw down a draw four is if you don't have that. Like, say if I throw
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
red two,
If you have no other color in your hand, yeah, yeah,
if you don't have a two or a red card, then you can throw down a
yeah.
draw four. That's what it's supposed to be, right? One, I don't think that's I don't like Uno, like somebody said. Uno, y'all give us the cards, we make up the rules. Y'all do your own
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I
That's
don't
just
like
like
I don't like them rules.
yeah, that's I Uno is a game that I don't play with many people because
Mm-hmm.
everybody play it differently. And
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna always end up in an argument or a fight because people play it differently. Like you can't stack, oh you can't stack, all that kind of stuff. I just
Yeah.
stick to dominoes,
Bigger fight, Uno or spades.
spades by far,
Mhm.
by far. But I think Uno might be a little more like universal because I done seen like 5-year-olds fighting over Uno. You know what I'm saying? Like Uno prepare you for spades. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you learn how to talk trash and and how to fight over card games as a child. Then you graduate up to spades when in your adult years.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Man, I ain't got nothing else.
Who you got winning the home run derby?
I don't even know who in the home run derby. That's how much I have paid attention to baseball.
I was gonna
I
say
told you.
Ronald Acuna, but he not in it no more. So
I told you what when I really started watching baseball.
you need to go back to St.
Game.
Louis. They've been tripping.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I don't watch baseball as much.
The Cubs been balling though.
I hate them. I hate every one of them. I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna pick just because I like them as a person. I don't think they're gonna win it. They actually got the second best odds. It looks like to win it. O'Neal Cruz. Actually, no. O'Neal Cruz got the best odds. I mean, not the best odds. Yeah, he got the best odds. Not the long shot odds, but best odds to
Yeah,
win it.
I think O'Neal Cruz is perfect for this type of event. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go with he might not win it, but it's more of a heart pick than a head pick. James Woods, man, from the Nationals. That dude is gonna be a stud, bro.
Yeah.
That dude gonna be a dog. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Ready to make this trip.
Yeah, man. For those of you, we'll be doing SWAT Media Day again this year. I'm looking forward to it this year. I know this on HBCU hour, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. We might have to go live from Birmingham a couple times. Just depending on which coaches we get. Depending on which coaches.
We'll see.
Yeah, put them on. Talk with them. But man, that's it. Like you said, that's all we got. We'll be back next week, probably. I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We finna start really getting into this content for the season previews for some of these conferences and stuff. It's gonna be interesting, man. Thursday, also tune in for Bayou Recap. We'll be talking some interesting news and everything that's going up. Hopefully, we have a conference change.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We gonna find out. But get my theme music playing. Get my theme music. Do it out like we'll be back on next week. Just go ahead and make sure you follow us on YouTube and hit that little bell so you know when we go live. Like that, we out.